Boom. Are we on the straight and narrow? I think we are. Yeah, I need to go back to the gym, y'all. Believe it or not, there was a time in my life when I was very active in the gym in those days, you know. And I need to get back to that. I really do. I keep telling myself, have you ever heard of the phrase, the law of diminishing intent? Tell me if you've, I don't know where my phone is. Oh, I left my phone in the other office. Goodness. Sorry, I need to call the young lady and see if, Namwinga! Kunani we don't have, like the intercom. You know, I don't have a little button in my office. Namwinga. Yes, just a moment. Come in. Namwinga.
Yes, sir.
My phone is on the desk there.
Should bring it.
Yes, please.
All right.
Thank you. This is Simo-san. Nobody here has an intercom. Okay, so if I need the kitchen staff to bring me a cup of tea, there is no button anywhere. We just scream the heck out of the place. It's not to laugh at. Alrighty, guys, I must tell you. Oh, by the way, I have to share this with you. Before I share this, I must tell you. Over the weekend, my wife and I, we were watching. Come in. We were watching a film on Netflix. Thank you, Namwinga. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We were watching a film on Netflix. Have you guys seen this film called Unknown Number? OMG. Nga pali abantu abape na muchalo wako America. Mashiru. I'm not going to give anything away because, you know, I'm all about you guys discovering the film or the documentary all by yourself. There is not one iota of information I'm going to give you apart from the title. It's on Netflix. It's called Unknown Number. And when you get to the end of the film, the documentary, it's a documentary. It's going to knock you clean off of your feet. You're going to lose faith in humanity. I'm not kidding you. The scripture that's going to come into your mind is when the Word of God says, the heart of man is desperately wicked. Do you know what that means? It means the intent of man's nature to do wrong it is so potent that he's almost compelled to do it. The heart of man is desperately wicked. Boy, I'll tell you, my wife and I, we saw that unknown number. When we got to the conclusion of that documentary, I turned to my wife and said, honey, I have completely lost faith in humanity. I've heard it all now. Unknown Number on Netflix. Watch that. Going to mess you up. I'm telling you right now, boy. Alrighty. This shirt is too small for me. Have you noticed? I've had this shirt for years. I can't remember. You know who gave me this shirt was my brother years ago. And I still have it, you know. I need a new wardrobe, guys. Honestly, really. I'm sick and tired of these clothes. What am I saying? Oh, just a few shout outs to you guys before I begin. I know it's right before lunch hour, and it doesn't hurt to say a few hellos. I'm going to shout out to you guys if I can see your comments. Okay, Costar, you can't reinstate benefits to a corpse. Mr. Mwewa, hello to you. Nelson, thank you guys, thank you. You're loud and clear. Estella, watching you from Bern. Really? Bern, Munich? Yeah? Is that right? Hi. Rasima, Boaz, Trimpy, Morris Kafunda. Thank you for being with me, guys. Alrighty. So please don't make a note of that. Could one of you, please, if you don't mind, I forgot my ring. Can you believe this? I forgot my ring on the window thing in the bathroom. Because, you know, when I wash my hands, I love to wash my hands without my ring. So consequently, what ends up happening is that I take my ring off, I put it on the windowsill, I wash my hands. When I get distracted, mate, I leave the ring on the thingy-mabob. And then, you know, I never hear the end of it when I get home. Oh, you're not wearing your ring, are you? Well, I'm not going to wear mine. All right. Guys, let's get into, just say it in the comments. Go ahead, just say the title in the comments. Unknown number, say it in there. Because I want you guys to watch this documentary on Netflix. Unknown number. One of you say it, please. Go ahead, break it down. Femi, break it down. All right, guys, I'm over here at Simoson Building, plot number 8585 on the corner of Lucia and Simon. When I say Lucia and Simon, I mean Kalu Shawalia Road and Simon Mwewa Lane here at Simoson Building. It's a beautiful Monday and absolutely gorgeous outside. Warm as it all get out, but it's beautiful. Let's get into it. The very first thing I want to delve. Oh, by the way, before I get into that, have you noticed what's her name, Mama Chikamoneka? Why does she have the giggles all of a sudden? Why is she cackling the way she's cackling? You guys know what it is to cackle? Somebody tell me in the comments. Hey, Mwenga, I see you. Tell me in the comments. You know what it is? Yeah, that's the name of the film, Unknown Number, on Netflix. Watch that. It's going to mess you up. When you get to the end of that documentary, ooh, it's going to mess you up. It's going to mess you up, boy. And I'm not giving away a thing. I want you to experience it yourself. When we got to the end, I looked at my wife. I said, Lord, have mercy. Okay. Mama Chikamoneka has the giggles. She's cackling. And I found it a bit offensive that she's laughing at Vakambwili's what's the word? Predicament. There you go. I knew I had it. But Mama Chikamoneka seems to be having a jab and a good time laughing and cackling at Chishimba Kambwili's predicament, including Why Me's predicament. And then she's sort of trying to turn it into a UPND political thing. Guys, when we citizens break the law, we bear the brunt of that decision. Okay? We literally suffer the consequences of that decision. It's got nothing to do with partisan politics. If you think that way, then you've lost your way, is what you've done. Right. Let's get into it. The very first thing I want to talk to you about, it's on here. Let me just refer to it because, you know, sometimes I forget. You know, when you get to my age, you forget what you wrote down. ECL, what next? Let me tell you what offends me about this case. On the one hand, we are being told as the people, the Zambian people, and make no mistake, each one of us are invested in this case because ECL served as president of this nation. Therefore, you and I are involved. It's got nothing to do with family. If you had died, you that are watching me now, if you had passed away, trust me, there would be no rigmarole about where to lay you to rest. There would be no contention about where to put you to rest because you were not president of this country. All we would do is just dig up a hole and throw you in there and cover it up and eat chicken. That's it. We won't even remember your name. But because ECL served as president of this nation, he then becomes a person of interest. He then becomes cut from a different cloth. He has to go the way of his predecessors. Understand that. The moment you lose sight of that, then you've lost your way. You have failed to grasp this issue comprehensively. When you relegate it to, no, let the family do what they want. We've already been through that. If your fiancé twalipitamo muri bakaunda na PF bene. Abe never PF eba chita establish president. Ya kwebati kateka ngafwa kumutwala ku embassy park efunde. That is how we do it. So there's nothing different here. So what I find offensive is that on one hand, they are telling us, the public, kuti, no, mwiralanda po, kabiri, apa, tulimad negotiations, turerandishanya, we are negotiating. You turn on the TV, you see that lawyer from South Africa there, he's now arguing on points that were established a long time ago. Points that have already been made clear, abundantly clear. For instance, he's arguing, Kuti, no, you can't give a dead person his benefits when you stripped them. Who stripped them of who stripped ECL of his benefits? Who? It was himself. When he decided to re-enter the arena, the arena, in Zambia we say arena. When ECL misguidedly re-entered the stratosphere of politics, nay, active politics, the law is clear. When you do that, your benefits automatically fall away. I mean, this is there. This is there. It's there in the law. So, where does now that South African lawyer named Shishisha Sagalala start now arguing on points that have already been established? The matter of ECL's benefits being withdrawn after, subsequent to re-entering politics, that matter is neither here nor there. That has already been sorted. It's been solved. They're just dancing through the tulips. They are rearranging the chairs on the Titanic. It doesn't matter where they put those chairs. That ship will still sink. So don't... We know what is at play here. That South African lawyer, he's got no loyalty to the Lungus. The only thing he's thinking about is chichiching. Impia, ndrama, chapa, umuzulu, ama grudas. Epera, tabali fimbio. Edio, we have it on very good authority. Kuti, uja mu South African uja, for you to hire that chap, you must have grudas. Edio, not just a cheap change. Not ishitupera makevi Zulu. Not these small changes that we give. Those chaps, they'll milk you. So for them, it's about the Buddha. It's about Chapa, Umuzulu, Amagrudas. So of course, he's going to argue on points that have already been exhausted. Points that have already been done away with. He's preaching to the choir. That is what that chap is doing. He's preaching to the choir. We know why those benefits were stripped away. Because of his doing. His own folly. No one else. The benefits were not stripped underhandedly. They were not stripped unconstitutionally. They were not stripped unlawfully. They were stripped because he made a decision. And based upon that decision, the law did what the law does. So let's not scapegoat, brothers and sisters, colleagues, comrades. Let's not do that. In my view, and I've said it and I'll never stop saying it, when the dust settles and when the dew dries, they can hopscotch all they want. The legal team in South Africa hired by Makevi Zulu and the Balungu's family, they can skip, dribble, dab, bob, and weave all they want. At the end of the day, when the dust settles and when the dew dries, ECL is going to be buried here on Zambian soil in the homeland, the land of his jurisdiction of duty, meaning where he served as president. Can you bury Trump in Bogota, Colombia? Trump in Bogota, Colombia. Can you bury Cyril Ramaphosa? Can you take him to the Maldives? Huh? Can you take this young man, this lawyer from Botswana, who's just been elected recently in Botswana? When he passes, can you put him to rest in the Sudan? I mean, for what? For who? For what for? For what? That is what is at play here. And the more we explain it in that way, the more you have to understand that it is truly that simple. There is no complicated explanation that is accompanied with this issue. There's no complication. It's very simple. If this, then that. Here a little, there a little. Precept upon precept. Line upon line. Vane. That is what it is. So, and we'll not stop talking about it until ECL has been placed to rest. And I'm telling you, there are elements within the PF, those chaps, there are elements within that criminal organization that would be very happy to see the body unburied all the way into 2026 because their plan is to use that body for political purposes. I mean, the chaps are desperate. The chaps are desperate. They'll use anything, even if it means a corpse, a body, the deceased, to their advantage, because they know that some Zambians are superstitious. No, chitumbita cha tushe yo mpaka ba UPND mwabafumya hapo ile mwabika po ba PF ule umfayo ulaliye you kawawa alebwelera podero alive kala ulaliye. This is the plan. Now, the Zambian people are not going to be subjected to such foolishness. And mark my words, it is a foolishness of the highest order to use a corpse for political purposes. Mwendo shimwe mpanya mwefi puba mwefi pululu mwe ba PF. To use a body for that type of thing, and never put it past the PF. Never say no, PF tetu bachitefio. Kuisa the likes of Raphael hijack. There's nothing to laugh about here. The likes of Given, the likes of Raphael hajaka nakachinda, the likes of Emmanuel Propaganda Mwamba, the likes of Lily Lunatic Mutambo. You think those chaps would spare the body? They can't. They'll use every nook and cranny to their advantage, even if it means superstitious, diabolical activity. When you tell someone in Ishangombo, kwakaso mukuchinsari, mwabeba makabaka kuchipata, you go and tell those Chipata people, kuti no, ichitumbi tacha, it won't rest until we reinstate the PF. There are people who believe that. Now, it is not noble. There is nothing noble about that. There is no nobility in that. The issue here, the body has to be laid to rest here, Kwasira. There is no purpose for that body to be put in the hard, cold ground of the land of the Amazulus. That is nonsense. Edgar Lungu has an origin. Edgar Lungu is a product of this land. He's a son of this soil and belongs to us, the people of Zambia. Simple. Don't confuse it for your own political purposes. We won't allow it. We won't. All right, enough of that. What's the next thing I'm talking about? Msani. Oh, what a train wreck. Msani is not reformed because he's still playing the game. He's still playing the blame game. He still blames Kiddist and Yo Maps for his own folly. He sets a trap for himself. He gets snared in that trap, and then he screams bloody murder. He serves 4 months in prison for cyberbullying and all kinds of craziness. And I'll tell you who I blame in that whole scenario. Msani's mother. She's the key. How do you know she's the key? Well, look at the person he praises the most. Look at the person he upholds the most. Look at the person he sort of gives homage to the most. It's his mother. So if his mother is the most important person in his life, it stands to reason that his mother would be the one to sit him down and say, "Mwana wandi, if you nomba wafuma muchifungo twa papa atawilala ndapo baliaba ulio mukashana ulia no mulume baleke bantu nga wachita foul up bakakukaka na kainge if you wafuma lelo wafuma mailo wambo kulanda pali Kiddist na Yo Maps bakakulonga la futi badia baleke na fipita fyapwa fyomu fyashachita no manga mwamana ati Msani amba no mana futi but he's barely out. He's barely been out for 48 hours. He's already started showboating. No, enemy Kiddist start now I could not have raped her. Well, how do we know that? We don't know that. Just because you say you wouldn't do it doesn't mean that you wouldn't have done it. I mean, that's the reason they took you to court, is to establish that you were a clear and present danger. We cannot, in hindsight, assume even if it's Facebook chabe kuisa. One of these, in this digital new framework we're in now, with these new sabalos, you can't mess around like that. Vala kulonga. So, in my appeal to Msani's mother is na papa tamayo uyo mulumendo uyo mwebeni pantu the law is strewn. The legal landscape is littered with examples of people who came out, they did the same thing. Babalonga futi. Uyu waimi. He's a prime example. He was released. Muchibema tutila released. In English, it's released. Okay? He was released, goes out there and does the same thing. Doesn't learn. Oprah Winfrey once said, when God speaks to you, he speaks to you in stages. He first of all takes a little stone, a pebble. In America, they call them pebbles. A little stone. He throws it and lands on your head. You look up and you, oh, what was that? If you don't get the lesson, God takes a little rock, throws it over and hits you on the, ooh, that was a bit painful. If you don't get the lesson, guess what he gets? He gets a brick. He throws it over, the brick hits you over the head. Oh, Lord. And you start bleeding. But if you don't get the lesson then, guess what? A whole house falls on you and splat. That's where that chap is going. It's your freedom. I mean, it's your Waterloo. You know, if what to wakabeko, if I could tamba coffee. If iwe nga bakulonga kula vyati, oh bamulonga na futi, hao chavipa. Iwe mperako tomato eyo diapo. Abantu balalaba. Te hapa tualila bile wafuma. Tuaibukisha. Oh kwani Msani, ngali kwi. Oh naba mfumia. Oh chawa mechi. Nomba katuamba okumfana futi atulechisa fyefi walechita. Bwana wala kulonga. Ni olo. Okay. Lastly, Joe Malangi. Joe, you guys know the story. Former Minister of Foreign Affairs. he was conducted in a heist. Some people say $11 million, others say 10 million, others say 5 million. Whichever it was in the millions of dollars. So this was the con, this was the ploy. When he was Minister of Foreign Affairs, the government was going to buy a property in Turkey. Joe Malangi was given a presidential jet to fly from here to Turkey and await the transfer of that money. When he got to Turkey, the government transferred that money. Joe Malangi got the millions of dollars, money that was meant to buy a property for the embassy in Turkey, for the Zambian embassy in Turkey. Joe gets the millions. Some people say it's 10 million, 11 million, whichever it was in the millions of dollars. He takes the bags, puts them on the presidential jet, and how many people know you cannot use a presidential jet without the knowledge of the... Say it in the comments. I'll say the first part and then you say the last part. You cannot use a presidential jet without the knowledge of the... Say it in the comments. I'll wait. I know there's a bit of a lag time between comments and speech on live broadcasts. I understand that, but I'll wait. You cannot use a presidential plane without the knowledge of the... Kunda says the president. That's right. So Joe comes back. The PF are voted out in power. This story resurfaces. Joe gets taken to court. He's been given 4 years. But here's the thing. They don't know where the millions of dollars are. They've never found those. The only thing that Joe did was that he bought a few helicopters. But the bulk of the money is hidden somewhere. They don't know where it is. Joe Malangi has become Pablo Escobar. Remember Pablo Escobar? You know, the Colombian drug dealer from Medellin, over there in Colombia. Pablo Escobar used to bury millions of dollars all over Colombia. Joe has hidden that money somewhere. He gets 4 years, but guess what? He'll be out in 2.5 years. Under 3 years, he'll be out. In 3 years' time, he's going to walk out of prison. He's going to go to wherever the hell he hid that money, and he's going to start living the good life. That's what he's going to start doing. I mean, you spend 2 years in prison, 3 years, and in prison, let me tell you, the caliber of inmates in Joe Malangi, when they go to prison there, they live like kings in there. Those chaps, a bunch of fiancés provided. In fact, it gives them time now. He can even write a book in there. He can go on a diet. He can start going to the gym. 2.5 years of his life, he'll walk out free. He'll go to wherever he buried that money, and he's just going to live a beautiful life with stolen money. Yep, that's pretty much the size of it. Well, hey guys, I thought I'd share that with you. Thank you so much. It's lunchtime. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye. You know what that shit is, Shima? Ooh.